this is Brad from Pro Wrestling Junkies, and welcome to another episode of Toilet Side Wrestling Talk. Today's guest hails from Rochester, New York, and began wrestling in 2013. He was trained under Colin Delaney and Mark House, and has worked for such promotions as Ultimate Wrestling, Upstate Pro Wrestling, Immortal Championship Wrestling, Excite Wrestling, to name a few. He's the current UPW 585 Live Champion. He's also held the UPW No Limits Championship, as well as the UPW Tag Team Championships. Along the way, he shared the ring with the likes of Maximo Suave, Chris Caden, Bobby Fish, Homicide, Brian Myers, Rich Swann, again, to name a few. If you want to check out his matches, and I suggest that you do, head over to IWTV, and you can see most of them there. So please, let's welcome today's guest, someone who hasn't cured COVID yet, but I think with the proper training and some continued education, this man just might be the one to do it. So I give you the young lion of the West, Mattick. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
So is Rochester in upstate New York?
Yeah, upstate New York, more western New York.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Are you a Bills fan at all?
You know what, man? I'm actually not. I don't really follow football too much.
Okay.
Yeah, if I did have a team though, I think it'd be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, okay. Are they closer to you than Buffalo?
No, they're not actually. Buffalo's actually just an hour away.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you like a question or two that should be asked later in the interview, but I just don't want to forget them. So I was watching one of your matches it was yesterday or the day before, and it was a ladder match.
Okay.
And we'll get to that more later, but is there any way to get hit with a ladder that doesn't hurt?
Man, avoid it. Don't get hit.
Like even just, there's no way of not like feeling it afterwards. Is that right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, if I the particular ladder match I think you're talking about, yeah, I had some severe marks afterwards. So
yeah, it looked like it. Okay, and then my other question, I don't want to forget, what does 585 mean?
Yeah, so it's 585. It's actually just the area code for Rochester.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
is that the top championship in that promotion?
So no, it's not. The top championship is the heavyweight championship. It's our Upstate Pro Wrestling. We call it our World Heavyweight Championship because it has been defended in Japan. And it has been defended in Canada. So it is an actual legitimate world championship.
So someone's just keeping it until you're ready for it.
Yeah.
I imagine.
I'm a two-time champ already. So.
It's fine. Okay, so I assume that in Rochester, you've heard of COVID as well?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay. So like early on, back in March when things first started getting crazy, were you able to actually train or like get in a ring to train at all?
Yeah. So here in Rochester, we actually had a show, I think it was March 14th scheduled. And I don't think any of us really knew like how severe the whole COVID and the pandemic was going to be.
Sure.
So we ended up still running our show March 14th, not really realizing that'd probably be our last show for quite some time.
And then were you off for a while?
Yeah, I was off for quite a bit. Yeah, I think there was like a three, maybe 4 month period where I didn't even touch a ring.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, are you rusty when you come back after that, or is it, it's like riding a bike?
Yeah, I mean, more or less, yeah. I mean, it's more like riding a bike, but I mean, in-ring cardio, that's always a must. So,
Yeah.
to get back in, you gotta have some type of cardio.
All right. Let's go back to when you were a little boy. Not the day you were born, just when you were younger. Did you have siblings?
Yeah, so I have a younger sibling.
Okay.
2 years younger than me.
And so this sibling didn't get you into wrestling. When did wrestling come on your radar?
Yeah, so I used to live in New Mexico when I was younger.
Okay.
And so one of my neighbors was watching it one time, and that's kind of where I got hooked on it. I just ended up watching it with them, and ever since then, I've been a wrestling fan.
How old were you?
It was like 97-ish. I had to be 7 years old.
Oh, okay. And your parents were okay with this person watching you and exposing you to violence?
Yeah, as far as I knew, there was no issues with it. I mean, we would go out afterwards on the trampolines and pretend to be like The Rock and Rikishi and all that good stuff. Yeah.
So you've been like, when you were that age, were you able to body slam anyone on the trampoline?
I mean, for what I thought was probably a body slam, yeah, but it probably wasn't done correctly.
Okay, yeah, totally. There was
being 7 years old,
So did you go to shows ever, or just watch it on TV?
Yeah, so I mean, at that age, honestly, it was just strictly TV.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we moved back to Rochester, because I was born here in Rochester.
Okay.
When we moved back to Rochester, I started getting really into it and watching it. But I honestly didn't know that there was such thing as independent wrestling.
Oh, you just thought there was like WWE?
Yeah. I didn't really find out about independent wrestling until I think I was 17 years old in 2007. Okay. Yeah.
So did you move back to Rochester when you were in high school?
So no, I was. So I lived there from when I was 5 until I was about 11 years old, for about 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember, were you planning on going to high school, graduating, going to college, that path? Or like, was there a point in high school you knew what was going to happen once you graduated?
Yeah, no. So, I mean, I did all that. I went to high school, went to college, got my degrees and whatnot. But in the back of my head, it's like, I really want to try wrestling. I just didn't know how to get into it,
Did anybody have like an inkling that you might be interested? Like, did your parents know that, okay, this is something that might be a possibility?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I wrestled in the backyard when I was a kid. Like, I feel like there's a lot of wrestlers that did. Like, that was my way of wrestling, being a wrestler, right?
Sure.
But yeah, like I said, I didn't realize there was any independent wrestling. So yeah, my parents didn't really like the jumping off the roof and wrestling in the backyard, that kind of stuff.
You jumped off the roof?
Yeah, I have.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Was
dumb
it
kid,
two-story?
Right? No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So did you do this more than once?
A couple times, yeah.
Did you ever get injured?
No, luckily.
And what was the reason that you stopped doing it, or you just
I found out I could actually go do it.
Oh, okay, yeah, totally. I'm sure your parents put an end to that. So do you remember like the day or the minute where you're like, you know what, I'm going to pick up the phone tomorrow, or I'm going to go online and look for trainers?
Yeah, so I mean, Facebook, it was like 2000. Well, so in like 2011, I think I reached out to the school in Rochester, and I acquired about like how do I get into training and stuff. I didn't quite pull the trigger yet. I was still in college. So I finished up college, and I tried again in 2013. I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw one of the local schools was having an open tryout. So I just, hey, might as well do it now.
Were you physically fit at the time? Or in your mind, did you think you were physically fit?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I was definitely an athletic kid.
Okay. Did you play any sports in high school?
Not for any of the teams, no, but I always played like football or basketball recreational at the local community centers.
Sure.
Yeah. Same
thing, just a little cheaper.
Yeah, right.
So you you found this trainer. They're having the open tryout. What does that entail?
Yeah. So I just hit them up on Facebook and said, I want to come, whatever. They sent me the information. So I went. First school I went to was at Pier 6, which was based in Hamlin it's outside Rochester. It's not really. It's like an outskirt of Rochester, near Brockport in New York.
Okay.
So went there. It was like an empty warehouse, and honestly, they just showed us like the rolls and the bumps and how to hit the ropes.
Were you nervous on your way driving over there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I really didn't know what to expect.
Did you think like, I'm going to turn back?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you walk through the doors, and how many other people are there? For the same reason you are.
Yeah, so there's about 20 for the open trial. There's quite a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And were they in various athletic shapes?
Yeah, all over the place. Yeah.
And so, did you actually get into a ring that first day?
Yep, absolutely did.
And do you remember your first bump?
It had to be that day. I don't necessarily remember, but yeah.
Yeah. And are the trainers like mean, like more like, in the military they'll call you maggot and stuff like that? What's the style that you were trained under?
No, the guys I was trained under was great. Like so when I was initially looking for the school, I was in contact with Mark House. He was the one that ran the Facebook page and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really know who the trainers were when I was coming to the school. So when Colin Delaney walked in the door, I was like, oh, I know him from TV. That's really cool. I didn't really expect him to be here.
Yeah.
So no, they're awesome, professional, 100%.
What was Colin Delaney doing there? Is he from that area?
Yeah, he's from Rochester, New York.
Oh, okay. Had you ever seen him out and about prior to?
Just probably before he got signed, I knew he was wrestling locally. So, but before I started going to independent wrestling shows, he already left and was on the road.
Okay.
So I did happen to see him backstage. Like he just came to visit his friends while he was off from WWE. But yeah,
that's impressive. Do the trainers get physical with you?
Yeah, they'll tie up with us.
Yeah. And so you finish your first day. You're driving home. Are you reevaluating at this point your physical fitness? Like, were you ready for it?
No, at that time, I was actually in pretty decent shape for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you felt like, all right, this is going well after the first day.
Yeah, I was all in after the first day.
Do you remember like the moment you felt comfortable in the ring?
After watching other people.
Oh yeah.
Like definitely that first day of training, I was like, oh man, if this guy can do it, I definitely can do it. So yeah, that was kind of my attitude towards it.
So what's like the range of things from showing you how to hit the ropes and take bumps to like, do you guys is there training for like coming off the top rope or cutting promos?
Yep, all that good stuff. Yeah, I mean, from the very basics, from chain wrestling, how to bump, how to deliver moves, how to sell, psychology in wrestling, everything. They went through everything with us.
So is there a lot of time where you're actually not like wrestling or doing anything physical? You're like listening to like how to like put a match together and like tell a story. Yep.
And
are you taking notes? Like, are people? Yeah. Oh, really?
Yep. I brought a notebook with me. I still have the notebook too. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So so you have your first match. Did you think you were ready for it, or did someone tell you were ready for it?
Yeah. So, I mean, most people, their first match is a battle royal. So my first match technically was a battle royal, and there was a lot of students in the battle royal. But my first singles match, I actually just started going on the road with Mark House, who was one of my trainers. And I just came to a show with him, and they had an open spot. So Mark pitched it to me, and I kind of just went and did it. Didn't expect to wrestle that night, but I did.
But fine, you had your gear with you and everything?
Yeah. That's rule number one when you go on the road. Always bring your gear.
Yeah. even if you're not booked, just have it.
Absolutely.
So were you able to keep your head together during your first match? Like, could you hear the crowd, or were you just thinking about, your opponent?
Yeah, I mean, beforehand, I was pretty nervous, like going out there, but it's weird. Like once you go out that curtain, like it's totally different. Like I felt like the nerves went away. I just reacted to what was going on around me. And for not knowing who I was in my first match, I know it was like a small independent show, but like felt like I got a pretty decent reaction coming through that curtain just because of the fire and I don't know.
So when you come back through the curtain afterwards, are you all like charged up? Like, was it? Like...
Yeah, I was. And it's crazy. Like I still remember, like I got a standing ovation from the locker room coming back. Wow. So it was really cool. I don't know if they're just being super nice to me. I mean, looking back on the match now, like it was decent, but it wasn't like anything fantastic.
Yeah. Did you have fun in your first match, or were you like? Oh, you do.
Oh yeah, I had so much fun.
Has wrestling ever become not fun?
Yeah. It can sometimes. Yeah, it can.
Why is it like peaks and valleys and stuff?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah.
And like to the point where you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this anymore.
Yeah, I've questioned it a couple times.
But you're still on the path.
I'm still doing it. Yeah.
Okay. So at what point do you start getting paid to wrestle?
I mean, that's a good question, man. It really depends. I know for like usually your local, your hometown fed, it might take a while, but once you start going on the road, I feel like you just have to know how to ask and know what your value is.
Is it fun going on the road?
Yeah. I enjoy it as long as I'm not driving.
Oh, okay. And do you have like a spouse or significant other that you would travel with, or do you travel with your wrestling?
I just travel with other wrestlers,
and that's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
And do you guys? It's like the whole thing where like you're eating fast food constantly, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, because you don't have options. Is that like,
right?
You wouldn't choose McDonald's for dinner,
right?
Only if that was the only choice.
Right. Yeah, it's the worst. Anytime I travel on the weekend for wrestling, I ate the worst.
What was the most disgusting thing that you've eaten?
Geez. I honestly don't even know. I mean, gas station food is probably the worst.
Yeah. Did you have like one of those hot dogs that's on the rollers that like you can see a reflection in the shininess of the hot dog?
Right.
I think the worst thing would be a couple years ago, KFC had this chicken sandwich where in place of the bun were 2 chicken breasts. And whatever was stuck inside would kill you also.
Right.
Okay, so I want to get back to the ladder match again.
Sure.
So was that your first one?
That was my first ladder match, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about on YouTube.
Yep, because it's the only one I've had, so yeah.
Okay. So how do you prepare? I mean, do you actually have to get in the ring with a ladder and prepare for the match? Or do you just watch other ladder matches and kind of go off of that?
Yeah, for me, like I just up until that point, like I always wanted to have a ladder match. I've never had a ladder match. So I kind of pitched the idea to the promoter, like I really want to do a ladder match. I've never done one. And yeah, just as far as preparing, just watching other ladder matches.
And you don't like meet up with your opponent beforehand to go over?
I mean, I guess we all know that wrestling is choreographed to some point, right?
Yeah, to some point.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and had your opponent ever been in a ladder match?
No, I believe that was his first as well.
Okay. And then my final ladder match question is, would you ever do one again?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And I'm sorry if I'm jumping around a little bit. I'm very unorganized up here.
No, that's okay.
Who would you say you learned the most from along your journey about pro wrestling?
Definitely Colin.
Oh, okay.
For sure. Yeah.
Can you like call him or email him if you have a question about something?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
I talk to him all the time. We hang out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is he still wrestling? Like
okay.
Yeah. Oh, because he wasn't very old at all.
No,
like
he's
when he was first in WWE.
Yeah, I want to say he's like 4 years older than I am. Yeah.
Oh, he's younger than me. Okay, he's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, this is back to training. Do they talk to you about winning a championship in training, like how you're supposed to conduct yourself, how like you can ask for a title shot? Like, how does that work?
I mean, I feel like that's all up to the promoters, and if they see any value in you. I mean, I think when I got my first title shot locally, I was just because I was always in the gym training, and I was there every day I could be, So I put in the most work, and I mean, I think that's how you earn it,
So is it more important to have a good match than to win a championship?
In my opinion, yeah.
Okay. Is that like, to be a successful wrestler, do you have to kind of be in that mindset of don't worry about like the accolades and stuff?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, championships are awesome. They really are. But I mean, I just want to put on the best matches. I mean, you put on the better matches, eventually you'll get to that title shot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Do you ever like you have to go put gas in your car? Do you ever like drive to the gas station with your belt on and get out of the car and put gas in?
No.
I'd be doing that all the time.
I know, right? I should, but no, I don't. It stays in my bag if I'm out in public.
Oh, okay. And I forget. Did you have a significant other?
I do. Yeah.
Do they respect the fact that you're a champion?
Yeah. I mean, it's still like go do the dishes or take out the trash.
Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, I'm a champion. Maybe you should go. Yeah, right, seriously.
Exactly. I mean, because if anyone saw you doing that, you'd lose all credibility in the ring instantly.
I know, right?
Does she or he come to your matches?
She has, yeah.
Okay.
Has. Not so much anymore, but in the past she has, yeah.
So did you meet your significant other while you were, as a pro wrestler outside the ring? You met her
outside the ring, yeah. Yep.
Okay. And did she think it was real cool that her boyfriend's guy and that didn't impress her at all?
She's not a fan.
Okay, this is my last question about her because I've had enough. When you came home with your championship, did that impress her at all? Did she say, "Hey, you can pick what we watch tonight on TV, or you can pick what's for dinner"? Nothing.
No, I know. I mean, she supports me, but nah, she could care less about that.
Oh, she could care less. Okay, and I know this is, the question if you go for a job interview and they say, "What are your low points?" You're like. And like that's like the stupidest question. Oh, I try too hard. Do you know? Is there a match that you have that you can say was the worst match you've ever had? And you don't have to say who it was with.
Man, yeah. I mean, there's some matches I'm not very proud of. Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically, I don't know if I could think of any on the top of my head.
Has anyone ever injured you in the ring?
Yeah, I've been injured a couple of times. Yeah.
Like where they put you out for a while?
Yeah, so I've broken my foot during a match. I didn't know I broke my foot until I was walking in the back, and I couldn't walk anymore. And the doctor was there. They took my shoe off and all that. And the bone, you could see the bone sticking through the sock. It didn't pierce the skin, but like there was it was pretty gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. And so how long does that keep you out for?
I was out for 4 months with that one.
That's actually, not terrible. 20 years ago, that could probably end your career,
Right. Right.
Like if, in the 80s, if you tore your ACL, your career is over,
Right.
Like in basketball or something. But
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to let you go in a little bit, but can I first ask you what your plans are for 2021? Is it hard to book things at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I've actually been asked this question a couple times, and honestly, when wrestling opens back up and stuff, I honestly just want to elevate the guys that put in the work. I want to work with the younger guys.
Do you do any training?
Yeah, so I am actually the trainer at the facility where I got my training through.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So I started at Pier 6, went over to the Kayfabe Dojo in Rochester.
Okay.
And within the last couple of years, they just rebranded it to the Flower City Wrestling Academy, and I've been one of the trainers there for the last couple of years.
Oh wow! And do Is your style the same as what you were trained like, or do you have your own?
I copy everything that Colin taught me and some.
Now, have you ever gotten in someone's face and like spit comes out of your mouth into their face? Not that you're spitting on them on purpose, but
I mean,
does it ever get heated from the trainer's perspective?
No, not from not in training, no, but maybe match perspective, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so during COVID, have you been going in regularly and training the younger guys?
Yep. So we're following all the New York State COVID guidelines that we're supposed to be following as far as temperature screening and forms and all that good stuff. So yeah.
I live in a college town, so I went out for the first time in months today because I'm not from here. I just moved here when we had COVID. But anyways,
okay.
I was driving through campus earlier. Every single bar is packed. There are kids lined up down the street trying to get into bars. There's no 6-foot distance and there's no masks.
Crazy.
Oh God, yeah, these kids think they're invincible.
Right.
All right. Can I ask you 5 non-wrestling related yes or no questions?
Sure.
Okay. Have you ever committed a crime of passion?
Of passion?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Do you have any examples of what that would be?
Your spouse is having an affair and you, cut the brakes on the guy's car, something like that.
Man, I don't think I ever have. No.
Okay. No, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that you haven't. Do you know any words in Swahili? And could you call me a foul name in Swahili?
No, I could not.
Okay.
No.
For $3 million, would you never shower again?
No.
And that's after tax.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could.
Do you want to maybe ask your significant other that question before you come back with a definitive answer to me?
I'm pretty sure she'd tell me no, not to take the money.
Really? Wow. Okay. You guys have good priorities.
If I miss a day, she gets on me.
Really? Oh, that's great that you have that in the house, like motivation. Right. Okay. Would you ever swim in the ocean with an open wound?
Yeah, I think I would.
Okay. You're not scared of sharks?
Nah.
Okay. And then the final question, and this one I want you to take your time and answer. Do you have any interest in becoming my stepdad?
Yes, I would.
Oh, cool.
I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about it.
That's the nicest thing I've heard in the age of COVID. I appreciate it. All right. It's a Saturday night. It's almost 7:30. I'm going to let you go. Where do you have anything booked coming up?
Nothing solid. No. I mean, we do student shows at our training facility once a month. So that's all I've been really doing. So.
All right. So all my viewers, stock up on watching IWTV until Mattick starts getting in the ring again.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving me a Saturday evening. I don't deserve it, but thank you. And I will definitely keep eyeing you, and I would love to have you back on the show again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care, Mattick. It was great having you on.
Yep. Take it easy.